morning, it's great to be here. It's actually quite funny coming back to the stage. I come from Canterbury, and all the way through my teens I used to come here and do a drama club in the holidays, so the stage seems like smaller than it did in those days. It seems absolutely massive when you're about 12. I'm also glad to be wearing, well, I'm always worried about wearing one of these sorts of microphones, because I went to this conference and I was speaking at this conference. I do a lot of speaking at sometimes quite boring conferences. This is quite an exciting conference and quite interesting, and an interesting crowd of people. Sometimes I have to do some which have got lots of facts and figures and boring stuff. And we sat through this guy who was on before me, and he gave the most boring, long presentation you can imagine. And he then went off, and I got onto the stage, and I started to speak, and then I suddenly realised I'd lost the rest of the room, and there were all these noises coming through the loudspeakers, and he kept his microphone on, and he nipped off to the loo. And the guys at the back were frantically pressing all of the buttons, but they couldn't turn his microphone off. So we all, I just gave up speaking, and we all just listened together. And in awe, actually. And it went on for a little bit. And then he did wash his hands, which was good. And then he came back in, and he got the most amazing round of applause. And considering how boring his speech had been, he was completely perplexed. Anyway, I'm sure that the guys from the Gulbenkian from ART31 know which buttons to press, and I won't have anything to compete with today. I hope so, anyway. Thank you very much for asking me to speak here. For me, this is a really important event, because it's about a new generation of people, and it's about your hopes and your aspirations. And we're in a really fast-changing world, so we need to be able to give the next generation of talent the confidence to be able to imagine the future, and to make the most of the opportunities and the resources that are available to you. And I'm really, really pleased that the Arts Council has been a key partner for ART31 with the Gulbenkian and with Kent County Council and with the University of Kent. And we were really, really pleased to make this organisation one of our national portfolio organisations. So congratulations to you on that. That means that we're going to fund you and committed to you for the next 4 years. So thank you. And we wouldn't have done that without the great leadership here, and without the, frankly, really exciting conversations that us and our team here in the South East have had with you guys. And I'm really, really excited to be here today. And this project's really special because it puts young people right at the heart of decision-making, and it brings them into the circle of power. And this is a really, really important challenge for everybody, all of us who spend money. We spend money from the government and from when you buy national lottery tickets. That's where our money comes from, that we invest in arts and culture up and down the country. And what ART31 does is it offers young people authority and responsibility and a chance to actually change things. And it shakes up the cultural world, and that's a really good thing. And society always needs to have new ideas and new energies. And we need to make sure that the leaders of tomorrow are representative of the society as a whole as well. So it's crucial to have projects like this that really extend opportunities beyond that immediate circle, beyond the normal people who just make decisions. And we want to make sure, I'm a big fan of talent, and I say a lot that talent is absolutely everywhere, and no matter what your age or where you come from or what your background is. But sometimes the opportunity for that talent to surface up and to reach its potential isn't always there. And as the Arts Council, we have an obligation, a duty, to help you make that talent come through. And why do we do that? Well, because we want to make sure that our arts are more inclusive, that gives you this chance that wherever you come from and whatever your start in life, you've got an opportunity to be creative. And I think this country and actually humanity, everybody, all of us as a whole, need to use all of the talent that's available to us. We need inspiration, we need ideas, and we need solutions. And I have a great job, because I'm Chief Executive of Arts Council England. I get to travel up and down the country. Anything you need to know about a pre-booked standard advance ticket, or any on the railways, or anything you need to know about Lenny Henry's chain of hotels, I'm your man. I've stayed in them all. In many, many ways, we are actually at the Arts Council one of the biggest talent agencies in the world, and we provide really important funding to arts and cultural organisations, so to venues and festivals and theatres and publishers and museums and galleries and libraries and individual artists as well, up and down the country. And we also invest in thousands of different arts-related projects every year. And our funding provides the support to the organisations to do what they need to do to make their creative ambitions, their new work, their talent, and put it at the heart of what they do, and to make the things that they dream, the things they imagine could happen, a reality. So from next year, we've got 831 organisations like this one in our portfolio across the country. And the vast majority of these organisations support work with young people. Some of them, like this particular organisation, are specifically for working with and for young people and helping young people's artistic endeavours to become a reality. So some of them will be reading agencies, some of them will be music promoters, some of them will be dance organisations. And we also look after music education hubs as well. And that's a national network that gives every young person the chance to play an instrument and to participate in music and schools. And we have a job to do as well as the Arts Council more broadly to champion the importance of what we call cultural education. It's something I passionately believe in. And in school, that means subjects like art and design, dance and drama and music. These are really, really important. I believe every young person should have those as part of their in-school life, and then they should have another life around it outside of school, whether it's in places like this or later on in the school day. But it's got to be there in the classroom. Art subjects are just as important as science subjects. We don't need to say it's one or the other. You need both of them. We want to have people with great numeracy, great literacy, and great creativity coming out of our schools and our universities. We want to ensure that the arts have a really proper place in everybody's life. And we argue the case for this a lot. We talk to politicians. I spend a lot of my time having conversations with politicians about this. And we also have several important initiatives that we fund that ensure that the arts stay high on the agenda, but also that we can make sure that more young people have the arts and have cultural activities as part of their lives. So it's really important, though, I keep saying this, it's no matter where they start in life and no matter where they live in this country, they should have this opportunity. And one of the things we're going to start is a 25-year creative talent plan. So imagine you're born in Canterbury in 2017. In 25 years' time, we want you to be a globally literate citizen of the world. We want you to have had all the opportunities to see and understand and to experience great art and culture. And we're going to work with all those agencies. If you count back from 25, when you're 25 years old and count backwards, universities and further education and schools and colleges and youth organisations and arts organisations, individual artists, museums, libraries, galleries, health workers, all these sorts of people will be there involved in that, right the way back to when you're 0. We're actually going to do some pilot work next year in Leicester, where we're going to take a group of people when they're born, at 0, funnily enough, and then we're going to follow them all the way through their lives, and we're going to make those interventions in their lives to make sure, and then to plot that and to research it, so we can actually make the case as how arts and culture in those young people's lives makes a fantastic difference. Because young people are really fundamental to what we do, and it's something we've seen politically here in Canterbury, and it's been talked about nationally, the importance of young people and them having their say and being listened to and heard. Because you are the future creators. You're the creative people that the world needs. And, the world is changing. It's exciting, but it's challenging, and it's got to challenge the ways that we think as well. The advance of technology is going to change enormously. It already has done, but it's going to change even more the way we look and feel. It's probably hard for some of you to think, but when I was your age, we didn't have mobile phones. The iPad is now, 8 years old? And think how it's changed our lives. So all these things. So in 25 years' time, for that generation coming out, what's their world going to look like? And one of the things we need your help with is, because you know it better than us and you're living it faster and more relevantly than us, is to keep telling us and challenging us on this. And it's going to be changing and different in the world of work as well. There's a report just come out from the accountancy firm PwC, which said that 30% of UK jobs could be automated within the next 15 years. And that's 10 million jobs we're talking about there. And the majority of those jobs could be in manufacturing and retail. So anything that can be done by a robot will eventually be done by a robot to some extent. But the jobs that can't be done by robots are those jobs with creativity and creative skills baked in at their heart, the thinking, designing jobs that shape the environment in which the technology operates. And in the long term, our societies like to have to face big decisions, not only about how we view work, but also, because of all this technology freeing up all this time, how we're going to spend our time when we're not at work. And I think that creativity will be at the heart of that. How we express ourselves, we make more of ourselves and more of the communities that we live in. How can we make things that are useful and beautiful and change the world for the better? Because we're a creative species. Often we take that for granted, or it's very easy to leave it to other people to be creative. But we are a creative species, and we need to remind ourselves of the importance of creativity in all of us. And the Arts Council wants the power and importance of creativity to be understood and embedded in our education system and in the lives of all of our young people, because it's the ticket for those young people to their future. And it's also a powerful force for social mobility, for helping people to go on through life and reach their full potential. And we need that mobility if we're going to use all of the talent, all of your talent that's available to us here in this country. And a broad, culturally rich education provides young people with the kind of social skills, wide knowledge, and personal confidence that will help them move fluently through the world. And it adds a real value to the rest of the curriculum as well if you're in school or in college or university. The arts and the sciences are happiest when they work together, and they should never be apart. But knowing about music, knowing about literature, knowing about visual art, knowing about how the ideas that built these things, the ideas behind these issues, that gives you a sort of access to a shared language. And, you know, we call it cultural literacy, and it's what young people at the best schools enjoy. It makes them insiders, and it gives them an advantage. But we want to see that applied with passion and understanding so that every child, whatever their school there is, wherever their background, that they are also an insider. They share this common language. And we want to see that improved cultural literacy being the beginning of a wider creative engagement. We've all got imagination, and that's an incredible force, the power to dream. But it needs the material to dream with. It needs the jump-off point, the inspiration. The stuff you love or hate, the songs, the rhymes, the pictures that other people have done. Even if you reject them all, you should have the chance to know what's come before, because that will help you when you're creating in the future. And we know that not everybody is going to want to pursue a career in the arts. There will be some chartered accountants and lawyers in this world. And that's okay. We all need some chartered accountants and lawyers in our lives, but we also need really, really creative people in our lives, and that's really important too. And for some people who don't come and work in the arts and cultural world or in our creative industries, it will be something that just enriches their lives and brings them pleasure, and that's great too. We need not just practitioners of tomorrow, but we need lots and lots of people to be the audiences of tomorrow as well. But for those people who do want a career, we need to ensure that there are more and better defined career paths, especially at a time when it's becoming harder to afford a start in the arts. And we've made, at the Arts Council, a commitment to greater diversity, and that's a central pillar of the work we do. We call it the creative case for diversity. And that'll make sure that arts organisations make diversity absolutely central to all of their thinking. It means that they'll do work that reflects the communities they work in, and it means they'll have a greater degree of engagement with those communities. And the arts are already starting to spill out of venues and theatres, and they're having a great effect on our day-to-day lives. And the work that they do will help support the creative talent, people like yourselves, who will drive the economic success of the creative industries in this country in future generations. You guys will make sure that that's happening. And, you know, our creative industries are now the fastest growing area of the UK economy. Arts and cultural organisations are helping to change the way our villages, towns and cities work. You might have heard right now of Hull, UK City of Culture 2017. Huge change. I went to university in Hull. It's a huge change from when I was there a quarter of a century ago. And you might have seen just down the road what's happening in Margate with Turner Contemporary, and then more and more artists coming and living in the place and really changing the place for the better. Or up north, how the arts have helped to revive great big cities like Manchester or Liverpool. And there, the arts are bringing around visitors all year round, they're bringing investment, and they're bringing jobs. And it's important to recognise that many of the places across this country have a long history of making and creativity, and they're where the last industrial revolution took place. But I'm talking a lot at the moment about the next revolution, and I think that's going to be a creativity revolution. The communities that once manufactured are now mainly expected to consume things and manufacture less stuff, but they can still be creative, they can still have creativity as part of their world, and they still need that spirit of creativity, and it can be revived in the arts, in music, in 1,000 forms of creative making, and of course in technology as well. And we shouldn't forget that arts and culture and technology fuse together brilliantly well. Also in areas like health and well-being, the importance of arts is increasingly understood. It's good for you. It's actually good for you to participate in the arts. You live happier, healthier lives. We know that they can help alleviate some conditions and prevent others, and we support projects right the way from younger people right the way through to older people. So we know that arts therapy can help people with dementia and Alzheimer's, people with impaired mobility, their general physical health, and also mental health as well. And the latter, I know, is of real concern to young people. And we need to give young people the power to take charge of their destiny and to make more of their lives. And the arts can help here. They can help give young people a voice and self-respect. The arts can give you also, and you'll know this, all the guys here who've worked on this, it gives you a life-shaping discipline. It's hard to put on an event like this as well as you've done and you will do today. It requires discipline, but it also gives you the opportunity to express yourselves as well. And ART31 is one organisation that for me really is brilliant because it puts young people first, and we need more organisations like that. And as I said, the Arts Council is a development and investment agency, but it has to respond to demand. We can't force our approach on people. We know that there's a huge desire among young people for more. And that's why we need you to come forward, and we need you to engage with us, and we need you to tell us what you want. We want to help you. We want you to have the knowledge and the resources to help yourselves, but we have those knowledge and resources as well. We have the expertise to be able to link you up and to convene and to have a conversation that has some action coming out of the other end of it. So we need you to tell us what you want. So please, today and for the rest of your lives, and certainly for the rest of your academic careers, get involved with the arts, stay involved with the arts, and help shape the future of the arts and the future of your society. Thanks very much.